pulled up to the MOT for the BMW, and when you put the car into neutral, you get that, which is like a stop-start thing. But what's really weird about it, let's just turn that off. There it is again. I think it's the brake vacuum sensor that's thrown that, and there's an error as well on the OBD, so there's not really much I can do. I'm hoping it's not going to be a failure. It doesn't actually come up on the dash, it only comes up on the, like, when you're driving, it doesn't even display on here. It's only when it initially flashes up and then it just disappears. So potentially I need to get that sensor done, but again, I'm not sure if that will fail the MOT. So we are here anyway. Let's get it done and let's see what's going to happen as well. There was some other interesting faults that have come up, and you can clear them down, and then I think they might come up again, but I want to have a look at that a bit more closely. But we'll just get this MOT done because the MOT is pretty much about to run out. So let's go and see what we can do, and yeah, take it from there. So wish me luck in about an hour or so. It's engine management light malfunction. So I spoke to him about it because I said to him, did it come on when you started the car? And he said, it appears he suggested no. He said when he was checking the lights and everything, and it came up here, which it hasn't done before. So let's see. Okay, so it's on now. So what is, no, hold on, check. So that's weird, isn't it? It says check, okay, but there's an engine management light. I think I know what it is. Whilst I was having the car looked at on its MOT, I did some investigation work, and I believe there's two things that need sorting out, which is the brake vacuum sensor and the EGR valve. I think needs cleaning because there's a number of faults that come up. So we need to get that sorted within 10 days and have it back. Otherwise the car kind of runs okay. I think it's a bit sluggish, and that might be to do with the EGR valve needs cleaning, but let's get it on and let's get it home, and yeah, we'll start on it. All right, so it's all plugged in, it's all doing its job, so I don't know, we'll just see what happens really. I don't know if it's going to tell me how much carbon has been taken, but we'll find out at the end, and hopefully that's one job out of the way. Okay, so the carbon cleaning's done, and now I've got to go and give it a run down a dual carriageway or something, get some high revs to blast out all the carbon out the back. I've cleared up the error codes from the dash, so let's go and give it a whirl, and hopefully we'll find that those errors don't come back. Okay, so I'm back from my high revving blast down the dual carriageway to blow out the carbon. I've not got any errors on the dash, so that's good. The vacuum sensor is still showing, which I know I'm going to have to replace, but that's not an MOT failure. So I'm going to now plug in the OBD and see whether or not those codes have returned. Although there's nothing on the dash, that doesn't necessarily mean to say that we haven't got any error code. So I'm going to plug this in, and fingers crossed we might have solved that problem that set me back, I don't know, whatever it was, £35 to get that carbon cleaned from the engine. Let me know what you guys think about carbon cleaning, if you've experienced it, what you think of it. I know it's really hit and miss. It's really, people have said it, you know, doesn't work and everything like that, or, you know, if things are too caked on, then nothing's going to clear it. I guess it depends on the type of car, depends on the age, depends on the mileage, how well you've looked after it, etc. So, you know, I fully expect it not to work on everything, but let me know what you think. Also, I didn't mention it, but I've put in some Red X cleaner as well, just to give it as much of a clean from the insides as well. So I'm going to connect up the OBD. Okay, so I've connected up OBD. So again, it's this here. So as I said, it's the vacuum pressure sensor signal, and this is all exhaust, so I'd indicate that the EGR valve needs doing. So let's clear those, and sure enough, the engine management light's gone out. But I'd imagine, yeah, I can't get rid of that. Can't get rid of that. So, right, we need to start ordering some parts, some second-hand parts, I think, for this one. And then we've got not a long time to get this sorted, bearing in mind that I'm at work as well. So, yeah. Right, let's do this. Yeah, so this is now another video of the issues that we've got with this car. I thought it would literally just be a quick check, a quick replacement of tyres and stuff, but clearly there's more to it. But we can get this sorted. So let's get it sorted. Okay, so we're done another day. We have a pass MOT, because that engine management light hasn't come on in the last couple of days. However, I get in the car to drive off, and engine management light is back on again. So, yeah, I think we're going to have to replace the EGR valve. I think that's potentially incredibly caked on and blocked, and we're going to have to do that. But it now means that the pressure is off, because I haven't got a time limit, so I can yeah, go and get this sorted. So I think I might, or should be able to do it myself. Yeah, I mean, it is a bit disappointing. You're hoping that a carbon clean would have sorted it, but oh well, it is what it is, isn't it? So yeah, let's have a think about this one. Right, so since it was established that the carbon cleaning was not going to work and we still got the error, purchased a second-hand EGR valve, the whole lot, the whole business, but I only actually need this on the top. Well, I say I only need, I mean, to be fair, you could do this whole thing, but this is the major part, and I would suggest that it's probably clogged in and around here, because this is absolutely filthy. And this only takes this is quite an easy part to replace. All of this stuff is not so much. So I'm just going to give this a clean up, and then we'll look to start taking it off was hoping that these clips were going to be a bit easier because I don't actually have a tool to undo these. But yeah, so I'm just going to go and clean all this up. Right, I've had a very frustrating day with this one. Very frustrating. So, as you probably aware, we've got two faults that we need to change on this one. And all the parts are in here. So, the first one is the vacuum sensor, which is this here. This is located in an incredibly difficult place to get to. There are videos on YouTube of how to get it out. It isn't the easiest thing, and you need to have the right tools for it. I don't have the right tools for it. So I've literally taken apart a lot of the covers, the scuttle panel and everything, to find that getting this vacuum sensor out is very, very difficult without the right tools, which is like pliers with like a bendy hook at the end. Secondly, the EGR valve, that there, again, taking that apart, which looks on principle to be very easy, which if you imagine that this is how it's all set up, the EGR valve, the EGR valve is in here like that. These two bolts on either side will not budge, they will not move whatsoever, and I've tried everything. I've broken a couple of tools and I just can't shift them, so I can't get it off. So it's yeah, it's a waste of a day. I just can't. It's sort of beaten me, this car. And then finally, and I've had the same problem with the last 3 series that I had. This tyre holds absolutely no pressure. I've gone to move it today and found that there's no PSI in it. Now granted, it's a run flat, so it doesn't look like it's flat, but there was nothing in it. So I wonder whether or not the rims had it, and that's why it's leaking air. So yes, we are not impressed with this one. They are never simple, these 3 series. Why on earth I can't get a BMW which is just simple, I've got no idea. So that is the BMW. It's a pain in the arse, it really is. So I'm going to have to think of what I'm going to do about that, and I will no doubt get back to you on what the plan is. Where do I start? So I can't remember now because it's been a few weeks. So we reported 2 further faults with the car, which was EGR valve and the vacuum sensor. So I purchased 2 used items. One was the vacuum sensor and the other one was the EGR valve with the cooler. Cooler and the EGR valve is on. That has cleared the fault. Driven that back from the garage, that has cleared it. However, when the garage was there, they said they've replaced the vacuum sensor and it's made no difference. They don't think it's changed anything. So he thinks that there's a problem with that there could be a problem further within sort of the vacuum side of things, or the pipe or something like that. It doesn't affect at all the way that the car operates. And if you know your things about BMW, and I've googled the hell out of it, is that the error only comes up when you rock up to a stop and you knock the car out of gear and into neutral. So Google have said it's one of 3 things. the vacuum sensor needs replacing. The other one is that the neutral sensor on the gearbox needs resetting, and then the third one is to do with the battery, and that if you change the battery, which is located in here, you need to register it with the car. It's not just a case of swapping it out, because obviously if you change things like whether it's an AGM battery or an amperage thing, you do need to sort of tell the car that it's not what, in essence, the factory have put on the car, and then they reckon that also might cure it. So we've obviously tried the vacuum sensor. I can't reset the neutral sensor on the gearbox because I don't have any software for that. So although I've got coding software and Pro Tool, which does a lot of things, diagnostics, it won't reset the neutral on the gearbox. So apparently you can only really do that at a BMW dealer or someone with sophisticated kit. So my next option is I'm going to see whether or not this battery is the problem, and that's the next thing I'm going to do. So we need to get into here because the battery's under here, and we need to, what's that? Oh, what's that? And we need to find out what battery this is, and then plug it in, and then give that a go. So let's give that a try and hope that that is going to be the issue, because I can deal with that myself, and that's going to be free. Right, we've removed all the covers. This, I've just googled it because it's obviously quite difficult to tell what kind of battery it is when this is on top of it. So I've googled it. So it is an S5A13, and it is an AGM battery. It's 180 quid, £180 for that battery. So we need to now plug in the software to see what the car is saying this battery thinks it is, or it should be, and then we'll go from there. And I'm hoping it might fix it, but I'm not holding out anything. So let's get all this plastic trim and everything back on, because it doesn't need to be off now. And yeah, we'll plug everything in. Right, we're plugged in. Go to battery swap. So it says it is a 90 ampere AGM battery, and it was last changed then. So that is quite disappointing, because I was hoping that that would sort it. Annoying. Damn. Okay, that's potentially not going to work. So let's just have a look at what errors we've still got on here. I suspect it may not read any, because we've had a reset and everything. So brake vacuum pressure sensor signal is still there. Which is weird. However, let's clear that and let's see. Yeah, it's still there. I can't clear that. That's really annoying. Right, okay. It's not really much I can do much more of that, to be honest. Yeah, back to the drawing board, I'm afraid. I think this is going to wrap up the video on this BMW. Taking a nice
BMW, yeah?
Yeah, it's just here on the left. Wraps up this video because this BMW's going. Yeah. I'll tell you why. Because I've noticed blue smoke coming out of the rear, predominantly on the when you go uphill. So when you're putting at like 60 miles an hour or something, it's absolutely fine. And then as soon as you give it some sort of poke and everything, it goes. So yeah, it's off. So slight sort of rush at the end of this video because the Copart delivery guy turned up. But yeah, so a bit more information. I was travelling back from work and noticed on a very straight, flat piece of the M25 that what looked to be, I don't know how to describe it, but you ever had a really, really cold day and your exhaust is warming up and you get like just that lots of sort of vapour or smoke coming from the exhaust? Well, that was what it was like, except we weren't in freezing cold conditions. And I clocked it, and then it probably disappeared after about 10 seconds. And I was like, maybe I just saw something there, but I wasn't 100% sure. Then we got to another stretch of motorway, which has a hill, and the car was in cruise control, doing about 65. And going up the hill, pretty much from the start right to the top, it just, I want to say, bellowed out smoke. I think it was blue smoke. And then when we got to the top and leveled off, it just stopped. Now, it's either one or two things. The turbo's gone, or it said something about oil that's now getting into places that it shouldn't. So anyway, with that, I've decided that I can't keep throwing money at this car and it needs to go. I know I'm going to lose money on this. Unfortunately, it's a real shame because compared with the black one, this was in a far, far better condition. But yeah, so I'm still 100% sure that this car was not at Copart because of it. The car was stolen and recovered, and it's just sod's law that unfortunately it's decided to do that. So yeah, when you throw money at the EGR valve and everything, and then you get to finally use it and then find that it's smoking, yeah, it's not a good feeling. So it is in at Copart in Newbury. It's actually due to go tomorrow, and yeah, they've pretty much not got any issues with the service again of them picking it up, and obviously with the photos that have been taken, they have highlighted, which is really nice of them, the damage. Which, to be fair, if you're buying, you probably want to know, but we're talking a very minor issue on the front bumper here. And then I think at the back, they've highlighted that as well. But otherwise, you know, it is what it is. In the additional notes, there's nothing in there. It just says that HPI shows there's no category. And yeah, so we'll await for this to run tomorrow. I think I am potentially not going to be around when it runs. So we shall see, but I don't anticipate getting my money back. I've got reduced fees from Copart for the collection and the sale because I've put a number of cars through now. But I don't really see how else I could really sell it other than sending it to Copart. So yeah, wish me luck on this one, and we'll come back tomorrow, most likely to be probably on my phone rather than on the laptop.
Sold.
Okay, here comes. Any more bids? Going to Bulgaria at the moment, which is interesting.
High participation in the lane.
2,000 people watching.
Bonus time.
Is there anyone going to bid more than 1,500? Doesn't look it.
Bonus
Two bonus times for this guy in Bulgaria. But this was a pre-bid as well, so it's not like anyone's actually watching. So are we going to get any more? No, it doesn't look it. Sold on approval. So, yeah,
New bidder.
it is what it is, isn't it? Because they're going to be looking at just under £2,000 for that. And yeah, it's as I say, if customers are listing cars in here, there's a reason for it, and it can either be a very simple thing, or if you're a very good mechanic, you can sort these things out, and it's great. So, you know, hopefully when this car disappears off to Bulgaria, they'll find out if it's a turbo or if there's an oil leak somewhere, and they'll fix it, and it will rock back up into the UK again at some point. That's normally how these things work. So yeah, it's a loss, but you live and learn, don't you, with buying salvage cars. So on to the next project of some sort, and yeah, we'll take it from there. So I think that's going to be the end of this video. No more on that BMW. That 3 Series is gone. I won't be buying any more E90s or E91s, that's for sure. But I do need to get a diesel runaround, I think. So I am looking again at BMWs, but the F20 series, which is 1 series, or the F30, which is a 3 series. So I'm looking for those. I'm not really bothered by category, because providing it's minor damage, I can sort that out myself. So yeah, I think that's going to be it. I suspect you can let me know again in the comments what you think. Again, would it have been probably better to have done a private sale and just listed what you believe the problem to be? But there you go. Keep an eye out on the channel for more cars, and I'll speak to you all again very, very soon. Until next time, thank you for watching on this video, and I'll catch up with you all later.